You know, like we talked about earlier, some days you're going to go about 10 steps forwards and 7 or 8 steps back, and that's kind of where we're at. So you can see here, I got the Magnum out, and it's on the transmission jack. I got the MP205 sitting here too on the cross member. And the reason why is, which I thought I had a leak, and I thought it was the sealing surface right here of the transmission of my 4L80E. Well, that's actually not the case. Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Caleb Morrison. This is Caleb's Diesel and Fabrication. If you like fabricating stuff, if you like working on diesel vehicles, this is a great place to be because we're going to do it all. So the thing is this 4L80 has a hole up here and it has a hole down here. On the side it has a plug right here. Well, this is for a two-wheel drive application where this hole right here is open, and that allows the fluid to go in the back of the transmission and lubricate the tail shaft housing for the two-wheel drive transmission. So what I have is this adapter for the 4L80. That's what it looks like. It doesn't need any lubrication for this. It's dry. Also, the Magnum itself is dry between. That seal holds in the gear oil inside of the MP205. So, long story short, I didn't do a bad job sealing it, but this transmission never got these plugs put in right here and right here. So, the $10 plugs that I've already ordered will be in here sometime next week, and I can put this all back together and it won't be leaking transmission fluid anymore. So one of the things that's great too about having this all apart is I'm going to be able to go in here and put some heat shielding on some of these transmission cooler lines, some of these plastic lines for going to the fuel pump and to the back. So that's going to be helpful for the heat. I'm also going to be able to put some shielding right there that'll keep the heat off of that back part of the transmission line and the muffler. Also, I got a little bit more weld that I'd like to do on this gap right here. This gap, I know you guys are surprised that I want to do some more welding, but hey, I might as well do it while the space is open and easy to get to. I felt like this time, whenever I took it out, it wasn't near as bad. So I'm pretty happy that it went pretty smooth. And I think the ticket was my little cross member here that I built that bolts to the transfer case and the Magnum staying on there together is kind of nice because it's able to be one money, one ticket here. So anyways, it's going to stay on the lift for a while until I get those plugs in, and it's going to be not leaking anymore, which is what I'm looking forward to. So appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. Alright guys, another day back in the shop. We're working on brake lines, getting them all set up, welding tabs on so we can get those brake lines going where they need to be. Also, I'm working on building a little outrigger here to go from a panhard bar bracket going up to the top of the hoop for the shocks. So that's going to make it a little bit more stout, which is what we're going for. Another thing we're working on is building a little bit of a bracket to go across for the brake lines. And then I'll show you underneath here. Yesterday I worked on bending brake lines, putting holders all the way down the frame rail. Right there, and it goes. all the way back and then follows the 4-link bar back to my bracket there. And then my line's bent over and it comes down to each wheel. So we're coming along. If we can get these brakes done, we can get the brake split, and I might be able to move this thing under its own power, which is exciting. So here we go. We're going to do some cutting and bending. Hang in there, boys and girls. So I bought a roll cage kit for my truck, but I didn't bend it all up myself. But it was good because I had a lot of extra pieces that I didn't need, because my truck's single cab, and it was, the roll cage kit was for a Blazer or 4-door truck. So anyways, I got a lot of extra pieces. It's gonna be nice because I'll be able to kind of have some air here, and I can still bend it up and use what I need to. So it's kind of trial and error on this. You just kind of have to make it work. The thing I've learned is just do a little bit, you know, a couple of pumps on it, and then stop and go check it out, let it off, because you can go too far and then it's junk. Let's see if we can check it out on the truck.
Well, I can't.
A little bit. Just got to keep doing it till you get the right bend. Takes a little patience. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go get a paint pen, and I'm going to use this panhard bar bracket to, I forgot about the music. I'm going to get this panhard bar bracket, and then what I'm going to do is put a line on the back side of this piece of pipe and then cut it off, and it'll match this piece down here. Once I get that dropped down where it's on this panhard bar bracket, I'll be able to measure and basically mark the top so I can cut it off at the right spot, because I'm going to have to saddle the piece of pipe in to fit the shock mount, the tube mount, because it's a round, not square. So the more rounds you make it and the more you saddle it out, the better it's going to fit, easier it is going to be to weld, the more stronger it's going to be. There's just a lot of good upsides to putting this bracket on there. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but on this rig, well, it hasn't taken a lot of time. So here we go. Alright guys, so we're back at it. Had a good lunch. One thing that I would say is if you're going to be doing, you know, tube work, especially round tubing or square tubing, it's going to be a lot of whittling, a lot of cutting things out to get it to where it needs to be. So don't be afraid to take some extra time and make it work. So I ended up making my piece. Took me a while, but you can kind of see I got it bent to match the profile there. You can also see that this doesn't look uniform, and that's because it's made to fit into this certain spot. So took a little bit of doing to get it that way, but I think it's going to fit up pretty good. I'll get it in here and show you guys. Maybe. So it's about where it's going to live, just like that. Weld it in, and right there. So took a little bit of doing to get it to fit, but I just kept cutting and being patient and got it to fit in there. And what that's going to do is add some bracing to the panhard bar, and also the brace for the panhard bar. It's just going to help it be a lot stouter. So anything we can do to add some bracing up here. One thing I didn't do is I didn't tie in my front shock hoops to my cage inside the truck. I don't know if that'll bite me in the butt later on, but we'll see. I think it'll be plenty stout enough. The main thing is, guys, is that you build it, you know, heavy duty, you weld it in there, get a good penetration weld. Also, you know, another thing I did is I added some gussets on my shock hoop mounts and on the bottom and the sides and on the frame. So I made sure that this is going to hang in there pretty good, and it's going to be real hard to beat. It's going to be stout. So it's just all about packaging, guys. You got to make this stuff fit together and live together well. It's not something you're just going to throw on there in a weekend. I mean, this has been almost a year-long process, but here we are. We're on the home stretch, as you could say, and I'm pretty proud of the progress. So anyways, we're gonna get this welded in and we'll be right back. All right, I'm back at it. We're back up on this rig. I ended up getting this panhard bar brace in there, kind of went a little overboard. I got a little bit more of a bracket in there than just welding it straight to here, but I think it turned out pretty good. It's still a little warm, not bad, but it comes down here. You can kind of see, well, hard to see but from that angle, but matches the profile, doesn't touch my steering shaft, and goes up and ties in. I think it turned out pretty good. It's going to help it be more stable. I run my hoses for my power steering for the hydro assist through a hole right there. So it's got a little brace as well. It ties it from the bar back to the panhard brace. I think it's going to help the strength of that brace. I think it's going to be nice and tight. So got my brake lines ran as well, so that's good. I'm pretty excited and happy about that. It's one of those things where, you know, you don't really want to do it. It's kind of, I guess you could say, stopping the progress on getting this thing where it's moving, but needed to be done. So here we are. I'm getting ready to throw the wheel back on this side. And hopefully later this afternoon I'll be bleeding the brakes a little bit more. Maybe I'll have brakes on this rig tonight. We'll see. So hang in there, guys. Appreciate you watching. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe to my channel. We're just on to the next thing. You know, we're just knocking things off the list. So hang in there with me. We'll see you soon. All right. First fire up and drive since we got the brake lines done, so it'll probably stop under its own power. I'm sure all the family members want to hear me curse on YouTube, but I can't help it. I'm super excited. It's running, it's driving, it's stopping. First time it's been out in the daylight of the sun for almost a full year. So this is a monumental moment. The AC's cranking. It feels great in here, by the way. Pretty excited. No, we're not done yet, but it's driving. Pretty freaking excited. AC's cranking. You see the water dripping off. Condenser's doing its job. It's really coming together. We've been working on it pretty hard for the past week, just really hammering down, especially myself. I've been putting other things on the back burner just to work on this, but I couldn't help it. I was on the home stretch. Still got a little ways to go, but just to hear it run and drive around, move under its own power and stop, monumental from where we came from. So it's doing great. Pretty freaking excited. Hey, good morning guys. Back on the truck. I'm back in here in the shop. We're figuring some things out. So a lot of exciting news. Truck's running and driving. Got it to move around under its own power. Brakes are working, doing what it's supposed to. I'm pretty happy with it. Really enjoyed working on it the past couple of weeks. I've been pushing on it super hard to get everything done. Again, thanks for hanging in there with me, making some progress. So one thing we're going to work on today is how to get the wiring done for the back of the truck for the taillights. And one thing I'm going to do, I don't know if you guys have ever done like trailer wiring or anything, but on trailers they have like a 7 wire connector. Some people call it an RV plug, 7-pin connector. And so they have 7 wires. There's you know, blinkers, taillights, electric brakes, backup light, auxiliary power. But they normally come with a coated 7-wire bundle of wires that's got a really good coating on it. It's good for hot or cold weather, doesn't matter. So what I did is I took out the factory wiring, which is in a really chintzy, you know, 1985 model plastic sheathing that was obviously in pretty bad shape and real brittle. Took it off, and then I completely started over, and this is what I did. I went on Amazon. I know you guys are surprised. I went on Amazon and I got this sheathing here. Like I said, this is for trailers, but it's got 7 wires in it. So my plan is obviously I'm going to need wires for taillights, blinkers, stoplights, all that good stuff. But it's going to have an extra 4 wires left to do other things. So I'm going to be able to use that, and it's in that protective sheathing already, to run other lights, stuff that I might need. So that's going to be nice because it'll already be ran back here to the back. So all I have to do is make a connection up here at the front of the truck where my fender well is. I hooked them all in right here. So I got a connection right here, and then you can see I've got 4 wires left. I got red, black, white, and blue left. And what's nice is it's the same color the full way, so I'll be able to distinguish which one's which, and I'll be able to get it hooked up. So whatever lights I add to the back, I'll be golden there. So another thing is I ordered 30 foot of that, so I'll have extra. I can run some lights to the front. Probably going to get some type of light. I don't know if I'm going to get the amber lights that they sell, like some KC amber lights or ARB. I know you can get some covers to change it out. I'm kind of on the fence about that. But another thing I got done this week, and what I've been working on, is I got my Willwood proportioning valve in. My brakes bled, obviously, because we've been driving it. My lines from Ameriflex all ran. They look pretty good. I've got to put some wire stays on it to get everything where it looks good and uniform. But yesterday I spent a lot of time using some of that foil connector, you know, shrink wrap coating to go around each one of these lines to keep the headers from getting things too hot. So I'm trying to do my due diligence here, guys, and make sure that I'm doing it one time, doing a good job on it, and making sure that on the trail it doesn't bite me in the butt. So got my King Shock reservoirs mounted on the bar that goes across. I got a little bit more work to do on the air intake. It's kind of just mocked up there for now to get it running, because obviously I was super excited about getting the truck running, and I just wanted to hear it go. And it's running good. Got my AC all wired in and working good. One thing I'm pretty happy with is the vintage air on this truck. I don't even have the dash completely in or the vents pointed towards me, but man, this vintage air, it just kicks butt. It is cold as can be. I mean, it's colder than my newer pickup that I drive around. Super good quality, guys. I'm super impressed. I highly recommend it, and it was super easy to put in. Another thing we're going to be working on today is putting some more exhaust on. I need to route it out the back and kind of make up my mind exactly where I want it to dump out the back. Need to make a Harbor Freight run. I got a couple things I got to get stocked back up on. I need to make a run to O'Reilly's to get a 2.5 inch swelled piece of pipe for the exhaust on both ends. Hopefully they have it. Here lately they've been striking out hardcore. But what do you do? Just keep on going. So anyways, we're trudging on here, guys. We got some more things to do. I'm going to make some progress today, so hang in there with me. Alright guys, I'm back under the truck. Got a little bit more done. I was going to show you some of the progress. Got some more of these cable clamps put in. Got another one put right there. Another one right there. Right there. Also, I got my trailer cable for the lights ran to the back with some cable clamps up on the frame rail. You could say I'm kind of going overboard on this, but you know what? It's one of those things where I don't want the brakes to fail because it's not good. I got some of my fuel line wiring, or wiring for the fuel pump on this side with the protective sheathing on it. I'm probably going to end up using some of this protectant here that I bought. It's like a aluminized kind of a tin foil type of heat shroud. I think I'm going to go ahead and put that on the floorboard, kind of tuck it up underneath there. I also did it on the muffler here because they're kind of known for that. I've heard people have pretty good reviews on it, and I'm trying to keep the heat off of my transmission lines. Those are double protected. I've got 2 different heat shields on those, plus the heat shield on the muffler. I need to go get that little piece of pipe to finish up my exhaust, so that'll be done. Anyways, got that done. Got the cable clamps done. I got cable clamps for up here where it connects the trailer wire that goes back. It runs along the same place as my fuel filter and all that. Cable clamps put in, so it's nice and neat. It's not going to be falling off while I'm driving on a trail, which is what I'm going for. So got all that tidied up. Now I still got to come back here and get my lights figured out and get the lights put in. I just kind of coiled that up for the moment right there. Probably gonna have to find a way to come out and then discreetly, without allowing it to hang up on stuff, go over to my lights. So like I said, I got plenty of options here for putting lights on the outside of the truck, which I'm pretty happy about, and then more strands of wire in there so I can hook up stuff. I don't have to run 10 miles of wire just for 2 lights because they're already there. So pretty excited. Went ahead and adjusted my coilovers some more. I'm thinking with the flex that I've got right now, I'm gonna have to go ahead and on these bump stops, I'm gonna have to bring the cans down probably about 2 inches at least. So I'm gonna cut some pipe when I get back and do that. I haven't been able to make it to Harbor Freight yet, but I need to go. I've been slowly making a list to go. I'm sure you guys are pretty familiar with that. Just like I am. Harbor Freight's great, and Amazon's good too, but there's some things that they have that I want quicker, so I'm going. Also, I'm going to be working on, which is started on already, putting a little, some type of shroud inside of here to keep, you know, my radiator from getting punctured. Yep, you can tell me that I'm going overboard, because I guess I am, but I can't do it any other way. I'm just built that way. I like stuff being tough, and I like stuff being able to take a beating and keep on going. So whenever I drove it the other day for the first time, I had an oil leak here on my remote oil cooler deal, improved racing, a gasket. I don't know if it was just operator error, but anyways, got a new gasket in there. We'll see how it turns out. I'm not an RTV guy, so I went and actually got the right gasket for it and put in it. So I'm getting closer, guys. I need to get it down maybe this afternoon and start working on the ARB air compressor. I also think I'm going to put like an additional tank on the air compressor so I can have a little bit more capacity, which is what I'm going for, so I can air the tires up a little bit faster. It's going to help the compressor quite a bit to be able to air it up faster and have a little bit more capacity. So got that going for me. That'll be when I get back. Be good, get a bite to eat for lunch, and head to Bartlesville and get the stuff I need at Harbor Freight. So guys, hang in there. Appreciate you liking my my content and my videos here. Appreciate you hanging in there with me on the slowness of this project. I see at times it seems like it's dragging on, but we are definitely coming along. So we'll see you guys here in a little bit. All right guys, made it back from Harbor Freight. I've been doing a little bit of work trying to catch up on a few things. Got the tire put back on, looking good. Adjust my coilovers on the front a little bit, and I have been working on exhaust. So, you know, I kind of toyed with the idea of running this through the middle, right through the middle, but I didn't really like the way that looked. So I did some measuring, and this is what I came up with. It's 2.5 inch pipe. Probably didn't have to go 2.5, but it'll work. It's what I got, so it's what I'm going to use. Anyway, so I got about 2.5 inches of room between my 4-link top bar and then the exhaust. I'll probably end up, this is pretty warm still from welding it, but I'll probably end up bringing this up almost to where it's all the way up against this right here, because there's really nothing super critical on the other side, you know, just a fuel tank. Anyways, but it's going to come straight out the back right here and exit the back. And so what I got to get this to work is just a straight piece here, and then I also got a little turn down that turned down for wood. I'm going to put it off to the back. It's going to go towards the back, and it's going to be beautiful. You can see it right in front of there. It's going to come straight out the back. I'm hoping that I don't have to do my famous heat and beat method with the torch, but you guys know if I have to do it, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Little heat, little beat, it'll be all right. So I got that done. I'm kind of happy with the way it looks. I think it'll be good. I need to go, I went by O'Reilly's and got some of these fittings because H&H, my muffler place, was closed on the weekend. Some of the stuff that I do just happens on the weekend, and so O'Reilly's is my go-to. So I'm gonna go take a couple of these things back. I got some adapters that I bought just in case, and I ended up not needing them. So I'm gonna take those back, and then I'm gonna pick up a probably a couple of hangers with the little rubber isolators. I could probably make some of my own rubber isolator hangers, but it's one of those things where it's pretty inexpensive. They're not much, but I think I'll do that, and that way you keep this thing from bouncing around and moving, making noise. You know, my goal is for it to be nice and not make a ton of noise, but be able to hear that cam working pretty good. So I got my ARB compressor out. I looked over some of the wiring. I got the old instructions out, so that's good. It's one of those things you got to do. Got some more of the wiring. There's some of the step bits about Harbor Freight, but anyway, so I got to decide whether I want to add an extra tank to my, you know, ARB air system. Not only for the air lockers, but, you know, for airing tires up and stuff, and you know, possibly running, you know, a tool if I wanted to, even though, you know, the Premier power welder that I have has a 110 outlet. So I mean, I don't necessarily need that, I guess you could say, but I need something maybe to carry a little bit of air to help air the tires up a little bit faster. So I got everything else. Of course, as you can see in their manual, they talk about a kit. This is an air locker manifold kit that is an optional accessory, and it is also not included in the kit that I bought, which I thought I bought the highest dollar thing you could buy. Think again, still got to buy something else. So name of the game, right? If it was cheap and cool, everybody would be doing it for cheap and cool. I'm not either one of those. I'm expensive and not very cool, but I'm working on it, guys. So anyways, proud of the progress today. Some of the small details, you know, not really that glorious to be doing like heat shielding and putting on ties and stuff, but it's necessary, and you do need lights to be DOT approved to run down the highway. So, you know, part of the gig. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. Thanks for watching. If you can, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Help me out a little bit. It's come a long ways. I hope you guys can see I'm trying my best to make these videos interesting and make it where it's not dragging on. You know, I'm showing you guys some progress here. A little less talk and a lot more action, as Toby Keith says. So comment on what you think is good and bad, and I'll see you guys on the next run.